I used to believe in rape culture. In fact, roughly 3 years ago, I made a video titled Why I Believe Slut-Shaming is Wrong. It's linked down below if you want reference to it. A lot of the things that I said in that I still agree with to this very day. But as people grow, as years go by, as you get older, your perspectives and opinions change and they develop into what they are currently right now for me. And I said some really stupid things. I think I mentioned something about rape culture is day to day, and everybody seems to think that it's okay to rape people and so on and so forth. I don't know, my line of thinking back then was really whacked out. I was also back then more of a militant atheist. I was really aggressive on a lot of things. I was really aggressive towards religious people. Not the case anymore. But yes, I used to believe in rape culture. Do I believe in it now? No. And I want to share with you a phenomenal video that's linked down below of this awesome woman going to slut walk. Those of you who don't know what slut walk is, it's usually participation of women and men walking down with either no clothes on or hardly any clothes on, with signs like ask for consent, touching is not consent. And I'm not against those types of things. We in Seattle here have slut walk that happens every single year, and I'm not against those at all. I think they're pretty cool. But with those slut walks, there are a lot of very, not gonna generalize all, but there's a lot of hardcore feminists, should I say. Feminists who walk around and perpetuate that we live in a rape culture. But I don't believe that someone making catcalls to you, I don't believe someone's ignorance on what consent is contributes to what we know as rape culture, or as feminists like to perpetuate. One of the biggest problems that I have with this idea of rape culture is that I feel as if the word consent has been desensitized to mean regret. And the video that I have linked down below, I think, kind of displays this. As this woman goes up to the woman Lauren, who's been interviewing people, and she basically says that I don't want my video, I don't want my image, or I don't want my friend's image to be seen on the video, although we're in a public space, I asked you for an interview, you said you're willing to do the interview, you give me consent to do an interview with you, after the interview is done, you regret doing the interview, so then you say, no, I do not consent. My jaw literally dropped when I was watching this video as the girl says, you're acting like a 12-year-old right now, when in reality, this woman was simply taking her line of reasoning and walking it down the path that she wanted it to walk down. If you have two people, and what's crazy is I know somebody who's done this. You have two people who know each other, they have consensual sex with one another, no alcohol is involved, but somehow the girl, after she consents to having consensual sex with this individual, months go down the line, a breakup happens, she regrets losing her virginity to him, and what does she claim? He's now a rapist. He raped me. So that's one of the reasons why I feel as if rape culture is stupid, is they take the word consent and they desensitize it to mean something such as regret. Now, I'm not saying the majority of people do this, or women, or feminists, or men. I'm just saying this is what I've seen, and it's clearly demonstrated in the video that I've linked down below. The second reason why I no longer believe in rape culture, and I think it's a stupid idea, is to me the name makes no sense, rape culture. I don't believe that we live in a culture where people think rape is okay. Rape is a severe crime, which if the person comes out and reports it within the year distance of the rape happening or sexual abuse happening, they will be criminally charged for that crime, in most cases. Now, in a lot of fucked up situations, you have people who were sexually abused when they're 9 years old, and then 30 years down the line, they try to prosecute the person who did this, and it usually doesn't end up going through, and that's horrific to me. But there is this idea in rape culture that we all think that rape is somehow okay, or that the majority of people think that sexually abusing someone is totally acceptable behavior. And this is just not the case. And whereas, I don't even know where you pull this statistic from, to where you can make such statements that most people think that violating someone is perfectly 100% okay. Many people who sexually abuse someone who rapes someone else, they know that that is wrong unless they have some crazy, bizarre disorder to where they can't decipher what is right and wrong. But people who do these things, they know what they are doing. The third problem that I have with rape culture is that it seems to have this sphere, this ball around the culture in which if you're offended, if you're offended, sorry for the ambulance, the window's open because it's really hot here. If you're offended, that is enough to either get you arrested or call you a rapist. And if there's one thing that infuriates me is people, women, men, or anyone calling someone else a rapist simply because they don't agree with 100% your ideology or your movement. And boy, do I see this with a lot of people, a lot of women who perpetuate this as an entire rape culture thing. I don't believe that if you wear provocative clothing, that gives me the right to say something sexually aggressive towards you or make ogling comments about how hot your ass is. That's completely inappropriate behavior. But I believe that behavior doesn't stem from believing that rape is okay, but rather ignorance on what you should or shouldn't do, what you should or shouldn't say to someone. And I will not deny that there are degrading sexual comments made about women because of their gender. I don't believe that that is contributed by rape culture. In fact, at this point, I'm not even sure what the straight definition of what rape culture actually is. And I personally feel as if saying that someone's ogling comments about you or making comments about your body when you're walking down the street, saying that this contributes to the overall what rape culture is, whatever it is, I feel as if you're even desensitizing the word rape to mean someone staring at you or someone saying something that you don't like or you don't think is appropriate. And I hate, absolutely hate, when people desensitize real words that are painful. And rape is one of those things. When I hear people say rape culture, rape culture, rape culture, I personally feel, and this is my opinion, my feeling, is if it's taking away from the real pain, the real crime of what that word means, and you're contributing the word rape to mean all these other small, minor, disgusting things, such as someone whistling at you saying hot ass down the street. Those are inappropriate comments. But don't take a word and try to turn it into all these smaller, tiny little definitions. The word means one solid thing. Sexual violation of someone. An act of physical violence on someone. Feel free to disagree. Feel free to agree. I don't believe in rape culture. Those are just a few of my reasons as to why I don't. But I highly encourage you watch the video link down below because it really gives you a fresh perspective on what I said earlier about I feel as if the word consent is being desensitized to mean regret. And if that's really the truth, if that's what you think, is that consenting to having consensual sex with someone, they break up with you, you're upset over that, you then call them a rapist, you have a very skewed definition of what proper consent actually is.